Good morning. Welcome to Unity Longmont Spiritual Center on the 17th of July, 2022. We are blessed to have Bobbie Wilson with us today as our speaker and to lead us in meditation, and the amazing Teresa Storch with her music. And so we will start with Teresa.
Welcome, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me or not. Next, we can have it. Make sure everything's good. I'm grateful to the mountains for reminding me I'm small, but showing me the way to hold my head up tall. I'm humble before nature, it's painting picture-perfect scenes on this canvas that we live in and is constantly changing. And I love this world, and I love this whole wide world. I'm grateful to the paper and the pen with which I write, for being midwife to my thoughts, bringing them to life. I'm humbled by the muses, they've given me the songs that have helped me through my days and made my nights seem not so long. And I love this world, I love this whole wide world. I'm grateful to my parents for bringing me to earth, my family, friends, and lovers for showing me what my life is worth. And I'm humbled by this moment because it's all we ever have, the power that's within it to give us peace, peace at last.
Thank you, Teresa. It's at this time that we go into prayer together by taking a breath. Beloved presence, everywhere present, especially within us. We celebrate being together, and we are reminded we love this world. This world is a gift, allowing us this experience as a human being, as a spiritual being. And as we see our world, we know that we are called to bring our individual and group gifts to this world. We are reminded that each of us are needed, each of us matter. And our gifts can include a spoken word, a soft heart, a deep listening ear. Whatever they are, we are so blessed to bring them and share them with each other. And so it is. And we'll hear music from Teresa again.
I think I've played this a long time ago, and it's just one of my favorite older folk songs from the 60s, you guys might know. Love is but a song we sing, fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try and love one another right now. Some will come and some will go, we shall surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, and we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try and love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear in your trembling hand, and just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try and love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try and love one another right now. Try and love one another right now.
Thank you, Teresa. So come on, everybody, come together and let us welcome Bobbie with our hearts and our minds and be open to her wisdom and her love.
Thank you. So this week, usually when I do a talk, I get a really strong message about what the talk is supposed to be about. But this week I got all of these diverse images that were coming in, and I couldn't find the link until I did. And the very first image came to me about a week ago, and it was a long time ago when we were on vacation at the ocean, and we were scuba diving, and we were about 30 feet down, and this great big school of beautiful little silverfish was there, just swimming in this big ball around and around. And the dive master was on the boat, and he jumped from the boat down through this group of fish, and the fish as one parted, made room for him, and came back together. And I remembered that. And then what hit me as I was remembering that, wow, sometimes I think of myself as separate from the group, and these fish never do. The fish know that they're individual fish, but they're part of the group. They don't have this like dream of separation. So I wanted to share that image with you a little bit. So if we can make the technology work, David will pull up a little YouTube and we can take a peek.
Collective behavior is all around us. We see bird flocks, fish schools, animal herds. And what really defines these systems is that there's no global orchestrating power. The individual units are locally communicating with each other, and yet remarkably through these types of communication, we get animal groups being able to synchronize their motion and respond to predators.
So I just wanted to leave you with that image because you can see the fish and the birds and how they fly and on a dime they turn and fly a different direction. Or the herd of cattle, they just kind of know. And I know on the farm, I would watch the cattle and one head cow would kind of just go somewhere and the rest would kind of know to follow. And I got real interested for this talk in this like energetic communication. So the second thing that was in my mind is I'm taking a class online with Carolyn Mace, and it's about the coming transformation from going from our physical awareness to expanding into our energetic self more. And so I'm going to quote from her about that, because this was the second piece that was coming into my awareness for this talk. And where is it here? Okay. Quote, "We live in a transparent world. We are in constant energetic communication with others, whether we are aware of this communication or not. Awakening to the reality of this transparency asks us to awaken to a new kind of intimacy, a type of energetic intimacy that recognizes how interwoven we are with each other. And further, this new kind of intimacy asks us to honor our global relationships, how my survival depends on your survival, how we live now on a scale where we each impact the whole." So I'm thinking about that relative to my school of fish and how those each fish is impacting the other, and this they energetically communicate on a dime in an instant, go this way, go that way. Well, we're kind of the same way. And then the third piece that came to me for this talk was the idea of perspective. Where am I looking from? Where are we relative to others? How do we situate ourselves in time and space? Do we see our human self as a person relating to other separate persons? Is our reality individual-centered or ego-centered? Am I thinking I'm one and you are another? And if that's the case, maybe I need to look at that. Our mission statement, Unity's mission statement reads, "We experience deep spiritual truths by courageously acknowledging God in all. God in all of us." How do we do this? How far are we willing to go to experience our unity, our oneness, even God? There's no right way to do this. There's no one path. But what I noticed for myself is that in everyday life, there's mostly a quality of otherness that inserts itself between me and another person. Maybe the same is for you, I don't know. But what that otherness idea does is it prevents me from really seeing, really communicating, really being intimate with the God that is in both of us and in all of us. Now, even though I insert that idea, yet there is also at the same time a knowing within me that we are all connected. There is a knowing that the beingness that I am and you are is the beingness that has always existed throughout this lifetime and all lifetimes. So we are human beings. We are spiritual beings experiencing our human existence. And that is kind of a tricky place to be because we're going to be pulled back and forth from this body bounded by skin to the allness and otherness of all of us. But this is the question of perspective. Can we be aware of our perspective? Can we actually put it in our mind to look, where am I standing from? Is my perspective, sometimes I think there are deep distracting differences between and among humans that separate and often repel us. And it's very compelling to be separate from what repels us, isn't it? I might look at someone that is a person I would not want to affiliate myself with, and I think, I don't want to be that way. I want to be open-hearted, not mean and greedy. I want to be liked and admired, not shunned and hated. And so I have this list of attributes that I build into this little self that I make that I find lacking, that I claim for myself and I find lacking often in myself. And so that causes me to judge myself. I'm not always loving. I'm not always kind. I'm not always open-hearted. And it causes me, if I can't find it in myself, to turn around and judge it in others as well. And this judgment that we do, even though it's a survival mechanism for our evolution, is kind of not as useful anymore. And it's endless. It seemingly never stops. And instead of allowing us to expand our consciousness out into the realm of the oneness so that we can be constantly aware that we are all God, that judgment that we engage in, that we indulge in, feeds our sense of separation, our need, our seeking to be unique and special. When my perspective is that I am separate from everyone else, that is not reality. It is a dream. It is a cosmic dream that we all seem to be having. If I have this separation perspective, then it becomes difficult to see the God in all. When I look at the world, when my perspective is that I am separate from it, it means I can't be intimate with it. I'm taking myself out of it or away from it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with honoring each individual's uniqueness. We experience the different facets of our humanity in our unique differences, our individual differences. But we can appreciate our differences, our individuality, from different perspectives. If we are taking the perspective of separation, I'm separate from everybody, we see ourselves removed from the whole, often fearing or judging the whole or parts of the whole that we don't like. We're looking from the outside in, just like I was looking at that school of fish when I was on that vacation years ago. I'm looking from the outside at the school of fish. However, if we take the perspective of unity and we see, hey, I am one of those fish. I am one of those humans. I am in the family of humanity. We see connection and appreciation. We see our cooperation and shared talents. And when we take the perspective that we are one part of the whole, when we take the perspective of unity, there's no fear. There's no judgment. We are all on the inside of our oneness, seeing all as one connected consciousness. You can see how this transformation and consciousness, as Eckhart Tolle and Carolyn Mace and others are teaching us now, you can see how this transformation in consciousness to our energetic self, expanding out into the energy that we actually do communicate with. We can see how that's playing out. Look at how much of our attention, understanding, and worldview has expanded due to the energetic awareness we have through our devices, our phones, our iPads, our computers. We are already using the energy of the cosmos to stimulate our senses. I'm old enough to remember when the only technology we had in our house was the telephone, and it was attached to the wall. And you had to walk over to it, pick it up, and speak into the speaker. And that was how we communicated remotely with each other. Now we text, we email, we Twitter, we Facebook, we TikTok. We have immediate, energetically fueled communication. It's physical, energy in physical form. Phones, computers. Now, we've always had energetic communication from the beginning of time. We've always had intuition. We've always had dreams. But it's been easy to ignore these innate forms of energetic communication because they don't have physical form. We wake up from our dream and we see our illusory real world that we engage in, and we ignore the intuitive hit. At least if you're me, that happens a lot. More drawn into the physical. But however, we are moving ever speedily toward more and more energetic consciousness. What does this mean? Our perspective will have to shift. We can't afford to live in our own little separate worlds trying to limit our transformation, trying to limit our shared oneness. We are becoming more and more conscious of our place as part of the whole. We're like a fish in the school, an animal in the herd, a bird in the flock, or a human in the family of humanity. We know. We don't know perhaps how we know, but we innately sense that we are part of the collective consciousness. We are moving as one, and any desire to stop this expansion in our awareness will ultimately be futile. Now, I want to stop here and just pause, because a lot of what I've been talking about has been out of the head, out of our analytical minds, but let's talk about the heart. The heart already knows this. The heart already communicates energetically, has always. So, part of our shifting into our energetic consciousness has to be heart opening, has to be listening to the heart, to the body. We can be with each other as part of the whole intimately if we take the perspective of looking at each other from the inside of the body, from the inside of the human community. As the fish move flowingly from inside their school The cattle move knowingly within the herd. The birds fly with graceful and immediate twistings and turnings within the flock. We are also part of the human flock. We're not outside of it. We move and flow with it even when we think we don't. To believe we're separate, to believe we're not part of that human humanity is delusion. I heard Adyashanti say a couple days ago, and this is another piece that dropped in for this talk, that is awakening to our expanded consciousness is simply a shift in perspective. It's simply recognizing we're not outside, we're inside. I am committed to seeing from this inside perspective, no matter what I might believe. And remember, beliefs are just wishes that something be true. They're not truth. So no matter what I might believe, I know that I am connected to every other human. I just call into the awareness the image of the school of fish moving in concert. I'm a fish inside with all the other fishes, a human inside with all the other humans. Now, here is the most important part of this transformation in perspective. In our family of humans, our school of fish, we learn from each other. We need each other to transform. Just like the schools, flocks, and herds, there is intelligence that moves us all together. Each of us contributes to the whole. The behavior of one influences the behavior of the group. Our uniqueness is required. Our individual uniqueness is required for the health, the expansion, the consciousness of the whole. We each are absolutely necessary for the expansion of consciousness. Science has studied the movements of groups of animals and discovered that there is an energetic type of learning that each single animal can teach to or learn from another animal, be it a fish, a herd of cattle, a flock of birds, or a family of humans. They have called this transference of intelligence emergence. I like that word, emergence. Collective intelligence relies on the individuals to gather evidence themselves to inform the whole. So as we progress on our each individual spiritual path, as we commit to being more aware of our hearts, as we commit to being more open and intimate with each other, we bring that into the collective, into the family of humanity, and it energetically transforms. We don't have to even say a word if we're not called to. Just our being there as part of the family it allows that intelligence to emerge, that knowing to emerge. This implies that all of us are needed for the health and the evolution and the expansion of consciousness of the whole. So just by living the energy of our truth, we help buoy the consciousness of the whole so that we are all transported and transformed. I'm going to tell you a little interaction I had this past week. A friend of mine was feeling alone and lonely and feeling like, she said to me, I don't think my life has any meaning. And I looked at her kind of astounded because she didn't know what was being emerging from her, what was being transforming from her. And I said, well, didn't you go visit so-and-so the other day? Oh, yeah. Well, don't you think she enjoyed the visit? Don't you think you added to her life? Oh, yeah. So don't you think that's meaning? Don't you think we all have the gift of communicating with each other, of sharing with each other, being there for each other. Even if only we give is our open heart and our energy. We don't even have to talk. We don't even have to go anywhere. We can even just think of people, pray for them. That's our meaning, to be part of the whole. We don't have to lead it. We don't have to force it. We just have to be it. So let's get practical, okay? All of this is nice and abstract. How do we live our truth? By being constantly aware and vigilant of our thoughts, our ideas, our judgments, and behaviors. So a final piece of this talk was dropped into our book group about a few weeks ago. And we were between books, and the new book that we wanted to read hadn't come out to the library yet. So we said, let's review Don Miguel Ruiz's book, The Four Agreements. So if you want to have a real succinct and direct recipe, take any spiritual path, but this is a simple one, it seems. 4 agreements. First one, be impeccable with your word. Wow. Everything you say has so much power. Speak the truth. Don't hem and haw. Don't lie so you don't hurt someone's feelings. Be kind. Be loving. Be impeccable with your words. Speak your truth. Not only to others, but to yourself. Is it truthful when we judge ourselves so severely? Be impeccable with our word. The second of Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 agreements is, don't take anything personally, because nothing is personal. It's always a reflection of what's coming out, emerging from someone else, but it's not really a reflection of who we are. They may be angry, they may be upset, they may be feeling resentful. It's not about you, it's not about me. It's about their reaction. And how do we react to that? We don't take it personally. We don't take it as an affront. We don't get all angry and defensive. We call upon our innate knowing of who we are. We call upon our open hearts, and we love them anyway. The third of Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 agreements is don't make assumptions. Holy cow, that's a hard one. That's a really huge one. I mean, we make assumptions all the time, don't we? I see somebody on the street and they're dressed a certain way or they look a certain way, and I've already got them categorized. I've never met them, don't even know them, but I have an assumption about them. I make assumptions about everything, about the weather, about what I'm going to have, what this food's going to do to me, what I think I have to do to show up a certain way at a certain event, how I'm going to be received. I make assumptions about whether I should hoard food or what the pandemic is going to do. All of these things. Everything in life is an assumption. I go to the next step that I don't even know yet. So what is it about making assumptions? We're trying to protect against a bad future. So we make assumptions and then we act on these assumptions that haven't even happened yet, that aren't even true. And those assumptions can cause us to veer off into weird paths. The final agreement that Don Miguel Ruiz has in his book is always do your best. Well, that implies that we're not always going to, we're going to always do our best, but our best may not be perfect. That we have to be aware that we're going to make mistakes. We're not always going to be impeccable with our word. We're not always not going to take everything personally. We're We're going to make assumptions, but just do our best. And that at best is like putting attention, putting awareness, again, on our thoughts, our ideas, our judgments, and our behaviors. Oh, I said that. I didn't mean to say that. And then you get into the current moment where it's been said, and then you look inside and say, now, do I need to make an amend? Do I need to go out? And you live in the moment, not in the future that you're protecting against, not in the past that you're feeling regret for, but doing your best in this very moment, given what's coming into your awareness. This sounds really simple, but it's really difficult to apply. It implies a devotion to truth, a vigilance to what we are, how we present ourselves, how we are with life. We can't step away from life and separate ourselves from the human family. We are part of it. Think of the impact we can have on our human family, our human herd, if just a few of us committed to these agreements. We can move the whole herd to expanded consciousness, the whole family of humanity, even while living seemingly individual physical lives. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. And perhaps we can just do a brief little meditation. So let's close our eyes and drop down. As your awareness goes from your eyes down through your head, neck, through your chest, and let it land in your heart. And sense how your heart is right now. Is it open? Is it closed? Is it halfway open? Is it feeling vulnerable? Give the heart all of your attention, all of your caring right now. Let it know. Let it know. Let it be open and safe. The heart is the strongest muscle in the body. Let it be open. Let it give forth what you know, what you've learned energetically out into the world. Be that fish in the school that transmits your precious knowing. Be that human in the family of humanity that transmits your precious truth through your heart, through your compassion, through your love. And so it is.
Thank you, Bobbie. We will hear from Teresa.
Would sadness go away if I dispelled my greed and gave it all to someone else in need? Could hatred disappear if I planted the seed and gave my love to those who made me bleed? And I'm so tired of this pain, and no one understands my need for change. I walked the pilgrim's path, could I become a saint and give myself completely to restraint? Could I see all my faults as a chance for love? Would it make me wise, make me humble enough? And I'm so tired of this pain, 'cause no one understands my need for change. And if I loved the world enough, could I see the face of God? Could I see the face of God? Could I see the face of God?
Thank you, Teresa. So at this time, let us go into our donation of love and light. Love and light being what we are. And we do that by taking a breath together, placing our hands on our heart, and becoming increasingly aware of this energy of love and light. Whatever we place our awareness on, it grows, it expands. We observe this energy of love and light expanding and being shared. We can trust it will be shared with whoever needs it, however it can be of service. And if you know of someone suffering, feel free to bring them to your mind and heart and share this love and light. And as always, we are divinely grateful and say thank you. And so it is. And we will hear from Teresa to finish.
Well, I thought it was time I finally learned, let there be peace on earth. So we could sing it again at the end of our, like we used to every time. So you can all sing with me too now. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Oops, that's wrong. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be our joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace. peace on earth and let